What is up YouTube, Darkroller here, aka Blackheart909, and today we're going to be testing out 9 games on GameNative on the RG477V. Now, I know I have a Snapdragon processor to check as well, but this thing has been so addictive to just run games on and install games on that I've been using it way more than my Snapdragon phone that I'm making some videos on. Plus, for the Snapdragon side of things, we are going to be getting an Odin 3. But don't worry, we have videos coming out for the Snapdragon as well. We're going to be testing a few games on GameHub and a few games on GameNative on that phone. Guys, also, this is an announcement video that I will be live streaming some of these tests. This one included, actually. This intro section is just going to go on the WOD of that one, so you can watch it later if you'd like. But today, I am going to be live streaming these 9 games, and if you guys want to catch it live, maybe just chat in the comments, ask me to test different games. Be sure to subscribe and like this video so I know you guys want to see that. Anyway guys, today we are going to be testing 9 games on GameNative, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. Okay. What is up guys, Darkroller here, aka Blackheart909. Welcome to the live stream, welcome everybody. We're just getting started, and this is also going to be a WOD, so if you guys are watching this later, welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day today. We're just going to be testing out some games, some chill games, and yeah, I'm just going to turn off the LEDs on this, just so we don't have to look at that blue color the whole time. And yeah, here we go. Okay, so today we're going to be testing GameNative performance on 9 games, as we've previously discussed. In the intro, we should be live. I'm just looking at my stream, waiting for it to start. I think it's going to be a minute before we start because the intro is going through. But anyway, I believe all of this is being recorded anyway, so if the live stream doesn't start, it doesn't start. We're going to be looking at 9 games, and these 9 games are going to be Abzu, Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, Batman Arkham Origins, Cuphead, Cult of the Lamb, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, Dark Souls 2, Darksiders War Mastered Edition, and Disco Elysium. Now, I have only tested Abzu and a little bit of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night before we began, so this is going to be a little bit of trial and error on the stream, but I think it should still be pretty damn good. So let's see. Hide chat view. I want to see the chat as well. Show chat view. There we go. Yeah. Let's start off with Abzu. And let's also look at the settings really quickly. So I'm going to go into Edit Container. We're running on Proton 10. Now, I have had issues with some games. As soon as we would launch them, some of them would crash, but changing Proton actually helped. Also for DXVK, I like using 1.11.1. This one is in GameHub. It says it's the Mali fix. In this one, I'm not sure if they've applied a Mali fix, but it does seem to work really well. Max device memory, we can set it to 4000. It does reset for some reason. Emulation, in terms of emulation, what do we have here? So we're using the latest Vex core. I'm also going to be wiping the screen down every once in a while. And yeah, box version 4.0. Everything is on the latest settings. I do have to make sure that we're also showing FPS. Great. Screen size is 800 by 600. That's, I think, the highest resolution. Now, we do get one option higher. And for most games, we're going to try to do 800 by 600. If the performance is exceptional, then we'll go ahead and maybe increase the resolution. And yeah, let's see how this game runs first. Let's save those changes. Play. Okay, so this is Abzu. I do know that this game is playable. However, we do have some issues on Mali still in terms of RAM. I do believe that this does eat up RAM quite a lot sometimes, but it's not too much of an issue most of the time, so I'm not really too worried about that. Okay, it says we're live. That's great. All right, so I do have the live stream running, and it's running pretty well. I'm glad. Abzu, here we go. Okay, menu screen. We have 27 FPS, 28 FPS. Let's go ahead and look at the resolution. So we're running at 75% of total resolution. That means it's running at 450p. Everything else is at low, full screen is on. I like the fact that this game gives you a full 4:3 aspect ratio, makes it look super nice. Let me turn this up a little bit and we can go back. Okay. Abzu. Let's click continue. Alright, so I was playing this game a little bit before, and the A and B buttons are backwards, which is strange. And also, I don't think the A button works the way it's supposed to, unless this is actually the way it's supposed to work. I think the stream is pretty playable though. I think the game is pretty playable. 31 FPS. Even 37. So this might be a case where we lock the performance to 30 FPS and get a pretty decent experience. Now I did try this game last night. It did work out pretty well. However, there are still some stutters, which is a little annoying. Okay, how do I interact with this? L2. Yeah, looking at less demanding scenes does boost the FPS a little bit. .41 FPS. So yeah, this would be a perfect candidate for a 30 FPS lock. But we do get dips to 27. Okay, I just want to try an extreme undersample of this game. So I'll just go ahead and go to main menu and I'll try to play 360p. Now 360p seems like a super low resolution. In the future, if they do enable something like FSR, or I know that Qualcomm has their own upscaler, but if they do enable something like that, it would be pretty cool. Let's try 50% resolution, 300p. Back. Okay, changes will apply after restart, so let's exit the game and get back in. Okay, I would say that's a 4-star experience. Worked well. Yeah, let's submit that. Play this. Okay, 300p. 300p. Let's see how this looks. Okay, there are some scaling issues. It says ant squid, and I think it's supposed to say giant squid. What's up, Steffing RG477V, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream, bro. Okay, now we're at 300p. It does look a lot blurrier. Kind of looks like a little bit like an oil painting, so you could call this an artistic decision. Which console is this? This is the RG477V. It's a handheld from Ambernick. And it's actually quite a powerful little device. It's using the MediaTek Dimensity processor. It is actively cooled as well from down here and from back here and up here, which really helps the performance. So you'd see a processor like this on a phone. I think I've seen it in a phone from Honor, maybe Honor 14, Honor 8, I'm not really sure. And that would give you similar performance, but the benefit of a handheld is it's actively cooled. How far that benefit goes, I'm not so sure, but it does exist, and we're looking at it. So 300p, much better experience, honestly. We're getting way more FPS generally overall, and we're seeing far fewer dips, less than 30 FPS. I think that's great. Bear in mind, all the settings are at low currently, which is fine. The native console, I think you mean what the native OS is? Well, this is running on Android, and it runs Android games, it runs emulators. This is basically meant as an emulation handheld. Originally, a device like this would be used to play games up to PlayStation 2, GameCube, some Wii U games, and also Switch. But GameHub and GameNative has made stuff really nice, so you can actually play games like pretty much your entire Steam library once they get better drivers out for this. And yeah, that looks amazing, honestly. 300p, not a problem at all at this resolution. Oh, this game is from Steam, so it's on PC, but this game is also available on most consoles as far as I know, so it should be on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. It's called Abzu. Okay, I need to bring a fish over there. That's a very particular fish that I need to bring. Also, we started these tests at around 80% battery life. So throughout the tests, you guys will see different battery levels, and it's all live, so we'll know how much the battery drain is as well. Can we play PS3 on this console? Actually, yes. I have seen some videos online of PS3 games running on the RG477V, and I think it handles PS3 fairly well. I've seen people run Resogun. I'm not sure if people play things like Metal Gear Solid 4 or more demanding PS3 games on it, but I would be interested in trying something like Folklore. I think that would be a pretty good experience. Okay, I'm gonna try to get that fish here, and then we can change games. Personally, I would only really play games that take up the whole 4:3 aspect ratio of this. If you play games that are 16:9, those would, you'd have black bars on the top and bottom. And I know it doesn't bother everyone, but to me, it would be a little bit annoying. No, I'm not using cloud gaming. All of these games are running natively on the device, which means all the processing is done by this tiny little thing, which, yeah, to me, is mind-blowing. Okay, let's try to get this big guy. Can I move him? Yeah, I can move him, actually. So yeah, there's no streaming going on here. It's all on device, using the processor on this device. Okay, maybe he doesn't want to go there. Maybe we have to try getting this thing out. It is actually quite impressive, and you can actually check out my channel to see The Witcher 3 running on this device. That actually blew my mind. The first day I wasn't able to get it to run properly, but then I did some tinkering with the settings and we managed to get it running at a solid 30 FPS, some traversal stutter, which hopefully with drivers will be a lot better. Okay, can we get this guy? Is he gonna follow me? There we go. .48 FPS, yeah. So this is definitely a game I would lock at 30 FPS. 300p, although it's a super low resolution, I think looks pretty good for this kind of art style. What I would like is some kind of anti-aliasing, even some kind of blurry anti-aliasing like TAA would go a long way for a game like this. Oh, that shark is elusive. It's just hidden away from me now. Okay, less demanding area. We're running at 33, 34 FPS. And yeah. Main menu time. Before we switch games, I'll just check if we can do some kind of anti-aliasing changes. I don't think so, but let's see. Can it run the GeForce Now app? Yes. GeForce Now is available on Android. This should be able to run everything that normally is available on Android. So you can run GeForce Now. I'm not sure if you could do 4:3 aspect ratio on a device like this with GeForce Now, but if you're streaming from a PC that you have at home, then I personally use Artemis. I'll show you that really quickly. So I use Artemis and Apollo on my PC. I can access my entire PC here, and it lets me play games pretty much close to natively. So this is my PC currently, and I would go onto Steam, for example. It would start Steam big picture mode. This is my screen. Takes a second to adjust. And you pretty much have your entire Steam library on this thing. So yeah, just if you're curious about something like game streaming, this is my entire PC. Let me just quickly check actually though. This is like a quick segment of PC gaming really quickly. So Stellar Blade. I just want to check if it runs 4:3. But look, that experience is pretty much seamless. Artemis and Apollo together, if you're using like a Snapdragon Elite device or something similar, gives you insane performance. This is Steam Cloud Gaming. No, this is actually Moonlight, and actually it's called Apollo on the PC end and Artemis. But for the games that we're running, okay, I'm not going to sign in on PS3. We can see that it runs. For the games that we're running, we're not using any sort of streaming. We're using this app here. It's called GameNative. There's also GameHub. And all of these games aren't running on my PC. They're not running on any cloud server. They're all running directly on this device. And if you own an Android phone or if you own an Android tablet, you're able to get this stuff as well. You can sync your entire GOG library or your entire Steam library. So for example, Baldur's Gate, as you can see, it says it's installed, it's on this device, and yeah, let's click play, see how it runs. But that will disconnect the other session from stream. Play anyway. Yeah, no problem. Baldur's Gate. I want to turn off the Stellar Blade anyway. Okay, just 1 second. I'm gonna go into my other room, turn off my PC. Okay, my PC's turned off completely. To be honest, I might also just restart this device just to make sure that we don't really have too much. We have zero processing delay, so I'm gonna go ahead and restart this device only because I ran another app. How do we turn it off? Power off. Okay. Can we play games like Forza 5 Horizon in this way? Yes, we can play Forza Horizon. I also have another device with a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, and that would be more suited to a game like Forza Horizon 5, particularly because I think Forza Horizon 5 is locked to 16:9. Again, you could play it on this device, but you'll have black bars on the top and bottom. But yeah, you can definitely play Forza Horizon 5 on it. Okay, we're gonna have to give it a minute to actually fully shut down. Okay, so we're currently at 71%. I'm not gonna charge this device for a while, but I did bring my power bank, and I also did bring my OnePlus A6 just to show you guys how you can run Android games on your phone. So this is the same app, GameNative. We are going to be testing that device on probably another stream. You could use a controller like this, play GameNative, and have it run that way. But that's not for today. That's a stream for another day. Okay. So yeah, I've gone ahead and installed Gamma OS on this device. Okay, fresh reboot. Let's go back into GameNative. And now we'll try to run Baldur's Gate 2. So this is an older game, older PC game. It should just run straight out of the box. Let's see how that works. So sometimes you'll get lucky, a game will just run immediately. Sometimes you're gonna have to play around with the settings a little bit. Also, if you get a black screen like this, I would say give it like 5 minutes if you keep getting a black screen, because sometimes the games take like time to process the shaders. It takes time to do everything a PC would do and get all of that stuff translated, which might be the case here, but you could also just be stuck looking at a black screen for really long, and we're gonna try to play around with the settings a little bit anyway. Do we change it or do we continue? Yeah, looks like this is stuck on a black screen. Plus, I don't really think a game like Baldur's Gate has those many shaders. Baldur's Gate 2 has those many shaders to compile. So we're gonna go into Edit Container. Okay, it hasn't even picked an executable, which is why we were on a black screen. So I'm not gonna play around with the settings besides picking that executable. And now let's just start. Okay, executable has been picked, but we still have a black screen. So I'll give it another minute and then let's see if we can tinker around with the settings a little bit to make it work. Okay, let's play around with the settings. Baldur's Gate, edit container. So first off, I'll change this to the latest version of Proton. I'll change the screen size to a 4:3 aspect ratio. Now this could sometimes cause you issues, but for now we'll just do 4:3. Show FPS. Graphics. In terms of graphics, system is always the driver you want to go in for here. For DXVK, I like to use 1.11.1. Max device memory, let's do 4 gigabytes. This thing is the 12 gigabyte variant of the 477V, and I like to do 4 gigabytes wherever I can. Let's use bleeding edge and performance for effects. We don't need to tinker with that. Let's also make this 4 gigabytes for VRAM size. And I don't really play around with these settings too much, so let's just click play. Let's see if we get an image. Let's see if we can play something in this for Baldur's Gate 2. In the meanwhile, here's a quick little preview of the games I'll be testing next on my Snapdragon Elite. We're going to be looking at Ace Combat. Spoiler alert, it runs at 60 FPS perfectly. Arkham Origins, I haven't been able to get it to start, but I haven't tried too much either. And Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Kind of runs at 60 FPS. There are some dips. You don't want to push a mobile phone too hard because you might get issues with, overheating and stuff. So you always want to be playing at like 60% or 70% of what the device is capable of. Again, we're going to go ahead and look at these. Maybe I chose the wrong executable. Doesn't look like it. Let's try Proton 9. Again, Proton 9 is sometimes better for older games. And what can we do here? Yeah, so system is always going to be the best for a device using a MediaTek processor, at least for now till we get dedicated drivers. Wrapper I don't play with too much. If you guys know better wrapper settings, let me know, but I usually just stick to defaults on that. Okay, let's see. Okay, it doesn't look like Baldur's Gate is gonna work. I have one other idea to test, which is changing the CPU translator from FX to box. So, box preset bleeding edge. Let's turn it to compatibility. I don't think it's using FX anyway, but you can also change this to Gilb C. Let's see if that works. 1991. So eventually, as these softwares mature, as stuff like GameNative matures, as stuff like GameHub matures, we will get better driver support. And I think GameHub at least does a pretty good job of setting defaults which work on your device. Maybe towards the end of the stream, we'll try moving Baldur's Gate to GameHub and see if that makes a difference, in case it doesn't work. So all the games that don't work today, we'll try one more time on GameHub and give them a second shot to run. Also, the battery drain I've noticed is a little bit higher on PC games, which is why you really want to optimize them to most of the time run at 30 FPS if the game's quite a demanding game, I like to run it at 30 FPS. But if it's not that demanding, then 60 is fine. Some games would run at 120, but I don't think we're gonna get Baldur's Gate running today, on GameNative at least. Okay, next game. Let's go to Batman Arkham Origins. So, edit container. Everything is set. I'm gonna leave the settings at default for now, see if we can get a launch. Let's see how that goes. An obsessive level of cleaning the screen every time I touch it. It actually gives you some pretty good tips here. So you get to learn more about the app as you're using it. Okay, Batman time, and I think this is running at 720p, which we will lower in a bit. Now this is a more demanding game, so I might have to give it a few seconds. GameNative is actually better at getting games to run really quickly. Okay, let's exit this. No graphics. 1 star for that. Go into settings. Edit container. So first off, let's change it to Proton 10. I am gonna leave it at 16:9 just to get a boot, and then we can try changing it because I think this game may actually be locked to 16:9. Present mode. So yeah, I've never played with that setting, and I don't usually need to. Let's go for 4 gigabytes. Emulation. Change it to the latest specs core. Get them as high as we can. And yeah, I think we're Gucci on the settings here. Okay, play. Okay, so we're gonna give it a few minutes to load up that 18 gigabytes of Batman goodness. Quick little Snapdragon test at the same time. I think I have Batman installed on this. Yeah, there we go. So this is how it would be on a Snapdragon processor. It does do the settings by itself. Let's click play on this guy. Move over Molly. Let's take off the on-screen controller. Are we getting a double no boot? That would be insane. Yeah, we're not getting a boot on either of these devices, so I'm just gonna hit exit, no graphics, and submit that. Okay, let's try Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I'm gonna move this one out of the way for now. And I did play this before. I did get it to launch, but we ran into an issue. And I think I know how to fix that issue, and we'll probably fix it on stream today together. That's a shame. I really wanted Batman Arkham Origins to run. And maybe we'll go back to it on GameHub. Okay, wow. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I think 505 games just run really well on Mali devices by default. Oh, sorry I didn't show you guys the settings, by the way. We'll come back to it. This is Unreal Engine. I think it's Unreal 4. Press any key. Okay. This may be some sensitive information, so I'm going to take this off camera for now. Okay. Game start, extra mode, configuration. Let's check out configuration first. Graphics. Oh, they've put everything on Epic by default. Let's see how it runs. Miriam. Normal. 60 FPS in the menus. It feels amazing. Okay, here we go. Create shader module. Wine debugger. Okay. Don't worry about that. I think I have a fix. So, edit container. We're going to change this to Proton 10. Executable path. It's been doing pretty well with the executable, so I don't think we need to change that. Let's check out graphics, wrapper, system. Let's move this to Sarek. Yeah, that's fine. Effects core, let's get it to the latest effects core version as well. Also here, let's get it to performance and mono bleeding edge. Let's see that. Okay. Yeah, that's quite a few adjustments we've made. Do we get a launch? Okay, we get a launch. We still get 60 FPS on the menu screen. Very nice. Please don't open that internet browser thing again. What is this? Okay, I'm just going to minimize this for now. Plus any key. I tap. Game start, new data, Miriam. Yes, normal. Okay, looks like it's going to load in this time. Fingers crossed. Ooh, there we go. Full boot for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Can I skip this? Guys, the crazy part to me is we're running at epic settings. How awesome is that? This is running at epic settings. And we're getting like 30 FPS. Not too bad, honestly. For epic settings, 30 FPS. Not bad at all. Okay, which means let's go ahead and change the settings. So options, graphics. First of all, I want to lower the brightness a little bit. Let's go to medium on everything, especially shadows, textures. Let's go to medium, effects quality. So I'm gonna try to explain why I'm putting certain settings on the way they are. Anti-aliasing for a screen like this, it's tiny. The resolution is always going to be low, so you could probably go for higher settings on anti-aliasing. Shadow quality, now what this usually does is reduce shadow resolution, but since our device is so tiny, it doesn't really hurt to have terribly low shadow resolutions. Texture quality, again, low resolution. You don't really want to have stuff that's pushing the device further than it can go. Effects quality, this is stuff like when you punch an enemy, if there's blood that comes out, fire in the game, and stuff like that. So I would also go for low. Foliage quality, let's go for medium. It's usually really stressful to have high quality foliage. Okay, with our custom settings, we get a crash. Nope, we don't get a crash. We're sitting at 43 FPS. Now, what does this tell me? This tells me that one, a 30 FPS lock would be pretty good. The game doesn't look significantly worse. Oh, I like that. You can change your outfit on spot. Okay. Let's head back to the main game. Okay, this is Unreal Engine 4, I believe, and there are some stutters on this device as well. Is it playable? Hell yeah, it's playable. Attack with X. So yeah, you will get stutters like this anytime there's a new effect on screen, but otherwise it looks and runs pretty well, I think. Yeah, 30 FPS lock on this game would be perfect. Okay, just really quickly, I want to see if we go to all low settings, if we can squeeze some more performance out of this. So I'm going to go into options and get everything to low. Let's keep the smoothing on. Okay, now this is the lowest settings. And it doesn't really change your performance too much, which makes me think we could actually play this on Epic. Maybe it's gonna make the stutters worse, but let's try. Options. Epic, 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 and also Epic. Yeah, 33, 35 FPS, down from 40 something. The game looks significantly better. There are some more stutters though. I think 1% lows do take a hit on this. I think medium settings would be the sweet point. So we'll do mostly medium, shadows on low, texture on medium, effects on low, foliage on low as well. This would be the best settings, in my opinion. Yeah, that does give us quite a significant boost. Can we go down? Oh. Well, anytime you get a new effect on screen, there is a stutter. That's like 55% Unreal Engine's fault, but it could also be like this device being a little bit weak. That being said, the performance is fine. Look, the second time you do it, nothing happens. That's shader compilation stutter. How do I open this?
This device responds to magic. Maybe I just need to hold my hand up to it.
Okay. I I can't really hear the fan. Also, let me just make sure that we're running on max performance mode. Fan is on cool. The fan gets really loud on this device if you let it get that loud. I can turn the fan to max. And I don't know if you can hear this on the stream, but it is significantly louder. There we go. Yeah, fan test for you guys. So what I like doing is keeping the fan on cool. I don't like putting it on auto because it just has random spikes, which doesn't make sense to me. Sometimes you'll be on a non-demanding scene. Tilt to the designated direction. There we go. I wonder if this console has a gyroscope in it for games like Zelda. I know it can run Zelda. I'm not sure how well it runs Zelda, but I know it can. New effect, shader compilation. The second time you do it, nothing happens. There you go. So if you hand this game to maybe your kid brother, your kid sister to play, get all that shader compilation out of the way, at least at this stage, unless maybe they update the drivers and make things a lot better, then by the time you play the game, they should have loaded all the shaders for you. Oh, big boss area. Is he not gonna hit me if I stay off screen? Oh. Am I out of my water balls? Damn. Ooh, what is this? Oh, I leveled up. Amazing. Okay, that's pretty good performance. Can I leave this area? I don't want to fight this eagle. I hate flying enemies. Man, I hate flying enemies so much. Name one flying enemy you have fun killing. I think the most fun I've had killing a flying enemy is probably a game like Arc Raiders, because you can destroy the jet turbines on them one by one. That's really nice. Okay, do I have any healing items? Potion, there we go. And now we can jump down. Yeah, I'd like to change these two buttons to the Xbox layout. Use this up to slide? Down, probably. Yeah, there we go. So some of the button prompts are backwards. Okay, what is this? Save. Sweet. I'll just save here. Okay, let's test out another game then. Alright, so far these two games, we're gonna move to GameHub and see if we can get it running there. Now we'll test out Cult of the Lamb. Make sure the EXE is set. It is Bionic. Okay, so we're gonna launch with default settings and see if it works. Ooh. Might as well do a quick wipe down of the screen. There we go. Also guys, we started this test at 80 to 81% battery, and now we're at, let's see, once this game loads. What's up, Flyaway6671? Yo, welcome to the stream. Okay, it looks like Cult. Oh, there we go. So sometimes you have to give them a few seconds. Maybe even Baldur's Gate would have worked if you gave it a minute or 5, 6. I could say the same for Batman as well. And it looks like this is running at 16.9. I do hear audio, but there's a black screen again. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm gonna have to quit this anyway, so let's do some settings. It ran okay. Graphic glitches, submit. Now let's go ahead and do the real settings. So again, I'll try Proton 10 first. If it doesn't work, we'll come back. And we're always gonna do 800 into 600 unless the game performs really well, then we'll change. Show FPS gives us a good idea. I like using 1.11.1. And what else? Max device memory, let's get it to 4. Emulation. Yeah, let's get this to bleeding edge. Performance. And super high resolution. There we go. Controller, win. Okay, save this. And now let's see. I really wonder if Cult of the Lamb supports 4:3 aspect ratio. Okay, this actually helped resolve a lot of the issues we were having before. It would be really nice if this game ran at 60 FPS. It is not a super demanding game, but sometimes even lower end games don't run perfectly. Sometimes they lock at weird resolutions like 51, 52, which if you're getting a locked experience, I think is pretty good, but if you're getting something like, oh, that's perfect, full screen, wow, that looks amazing. Okay, guys, I played this game so long ago that I'm not sure if I remember how to play anything in this, but we're gonna see, we're gonna try. Oh, crash, eh? Did it crash, or is this like a funny loading screen? Okay, we crashed. Graphical glitches, let's do 3 stars. Submit. And yeah, let's see if we can change that. So I did see something that said Unity over there. Now there's 2 things that I can think of that might help. First off, we could go into here and just pick Unity instead of Bleeding Edge. And if this doesn't work, we'll go ahead and change the Proton version to 9, what the default was. Towards the end, we'll have a bonus Game Hub section to see how it runs on that, if the games run. A lot of that will be off screen though, because to move games from GameNative to Game Hub, I'll just give you a quick rundown on what we need to do. We need to use a tool called APK Tool M. With that, we're gonna change the Game Hub APK before installing, GameNative APK before installing GameNative. And after you change the APK, you basically add an additional parameter to it. After you change the APK, what you need to do next is basically allow it to access your Android files, and from there you can copy it to a different place. So yeah, we got the same crash again. Once you do copy it to a different place, it becomes really simple. You just launch the exe in GameHub. Okay, so from here we're gonna go back to edit container, change it to ARM non-EC. What else can we do here? Graphics. Let's see. DXVK seems to be good. Okay, I have two ideas. So one is going to be we change this to glibc, and the other is just to try this older version of Proton. So let's check that. Okay. DX11, yeah, older Proton doesn't work. 2, no graphics. There we go. So we know Proton 10 is good, but maybe glib will help us. So now it's using the Vortex driver. And let's change this to... I don't know if I should change it to Sarek now or later. Yeah, we'll just do two launches with this guy. So let's try this first. It's a shame because the performance does seem to be pretty good. Hey, what did it do to deserve 2 stars? Well, I put 2 stars in there because that gives feedback to GameNative. So they're gonna take a look at all of my settings and see what kind of issue I had. If I had more time, I would sit here and type exactly what the issue was, but we didn't really get a launch. So when we loaded into the game, we got a crash, and that crash was something related to Unity, which shows me that some part of the driver isn't really working. So I gave it 2 stars because one, we got a launch, we got into the menu. Once we got past the menu, we were able to see like a nice 60 FPS over there. But once we do start loading into game, we don't get a launch, which to me is a 2-star experience if you're not going to be playing the game. I feel like it's really valid to send them accurate results so they can fix drivers and get stuff done. Okay, again, that's also a 2-star experience, no graphics. So they check out all the settings and get a good idea. Now, I'm gonna do one more really quick test on this one. Let's see. We know glib doesn't work, so we're gonna use Bionic. We know Proton 9 doesn't really work, so we're gonna use Proton 10. We could change the DXVK version. Now, we have been using Sarek this entire time, which are my favorite drivers, but let's see if we can go way further with DXVK and use a much newer version. Maybe this will help. Also, we could take a look at the battery, see how far we've come. 53%, and we started this about 1 hour ago at 80%, so that's been like 30% in an hour. Now, obviously, when you're changing settings, moving between games, the battery drain is going to be a little bit higher than if you have sustained performance in a game. I think you could get 3 hours out of this on low-end games, but on higher-end games, maybe 2.5, 2 hours is what I'm expecting. I've never really drained the battery on any of these devices I've been playing GameHub and GameNative on, because I've been testing it way more than I've been playing. Okay, so no launch. Let's do 1 star. Does not open. Here we go. Edit container. Now, I think going to an older version will be the right move. Well, how do we reset settings? I'm not sure, but let's try doing 10.1. Or should I do async? I haven't tried async on anything yet. Graphics, DXVK, async. Let's just try regular first. play. And I have a similar feeling for the game Disco Elysium. I haven't been able to get it to run on most stuff, but maybe we'll have success on this one. Okay, so older drivers kind of work better for Cult of the Lamb. Okay. Would I still recommend? Yes, absolutely. I'd still recommend playing around on GameHub. If you really don't like tinkering with settings, GameHub is probably the way to go. But some games run perfectly. I played Metal Gear Solid on a plane. It just goes really easy. GameHub also gives you default settings. The advantage GameNative currently has over GameHub is it lets you sync your Epic games and your GOG library, which is where I have a lot of games. Although Steam is my main device, platform, sorry, I would still recommend tinkering around, because if you find a game that's playable, for example, Abzu, like we tested earlier, it works really well. You can lock the FPS to 30 FPS, and you might find something really fun that you can play on a device like this. But now let's just try Cuphead. We're not going to be playing around with the settings for our first launch. I think I've already played around with the settings a little bit on this guy. And yeah, I think I have. So let's just click play. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think we have to turn on Force DLC for this one. Yeah, so for Cuphead, yesterday before I went to sleep, I was looking at this and I wasn't really able to get it to run, at least not on this device. I've been able to get it to run on my S22, but not here, unfortunately. So let's just move on to Dark Souls. Okay, for Dark Souls, they have the EXE set up. Oh, what is this? What game is running? This is a mystery to me. Could be anything. It could be anything, honestly. This could be Cuphead. This could be Dark Souls 2. What is it? What is happening? Okay, I think it's opened the container. Go away. Dark Souls 2. Damn, it's the same price as Retroid 6. Yes, so personally, I really wanted to buy a 4x3 device, and this is pretty much the strongest vertical you can buy right now. I had the RG477V before this, but I wanted a little bit more power, and I kind of got it with this device. I got the power I wanted. I was actually eyeing the Retroid 6 until I found a really good sale on the Odin 3. So I ordered that. My pre-order is gonna get here kind of late. It's batch 3, so probably next month, sometime next month. But yeah, we're gonna have to quit Dark Souls because I don't have the FPS. Start the game in offline mode. Yeah, perfect. Wow, this performance looks really good, and I'm glad it started really quickly. But we have to get our FPS counter in there, otherwise benchmarking is pointless, isn't it? Yeah, so I was originally gonna go for the Retroid Pocket 6. I found the, like, what does it run? I think Snapdragon G2, no, Snapdragon Gen 2, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which is a pretty good processor, which is comparable in power to this Dimensity 8300. Very, very close, within 10% of each other, but Snapdragon does have better drivers, especially for stuff like GameNative and GameHub. Right now, at least, it has better drivers. Um, I like the retro feeling of having a 4x3 device. I primarily got this for PS2 games, and then GameHub and GameNative caught my attention, so I started testing all of this stuff. But yeah, that's where I stand on this. I think the Retroid Pocket 6 is a great device. For its price point, it's absolutely perfect, and you'll have really good experiences playing PC games on it. Especially since the drivers are way more mature. I think the drivers for Snapdragon devices, minus the Elite devices, are probably like 6 or 7 months ahead of drivers on a device like this guy. Or even the 8 Elite. So even more powerful devices have worse drivers, which means you'd get less compatibility generally. Wow, okay, so guys, for reference, I have a Samsung Galaxy S22 as well. This is the OnePlus A6. On the S22, I tried to run this. That's a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and I was getting about 30 FPS, but look at this. Look at this experience. Now, if you guys have been watching the stream, you know that I hate these two black bars up and down, but man, this is like a delight to play something like Dark Souls 2 on a device this tiny in my hand. Wow, okay, amazing. I'm super happy. Let me just check out the settings really quickly. Game options. I don't even think we need to tinker too much with I don't think we need to tinker too much with the drivers and stuff. This is just perfect so far. Video settings. Yeah, we're at 720p. How do I get to the other screen? Oh, we have 800 by 600 by default there. Awesome. Oh, wow, look at those settings, guys. It's like texture quality is on high, shadow quality is on high, effects on high. I'm gonna turn all of this down. I'm gonna turn all of this way, way down. Anti-aliasing, let's keep that on. I don't think we need to turn it off. Motion blur is on as well. I think I like motion blur for when you're playing under 60 FPS, under 120 FPS. Camera motion blur, let's turn that off. Let's turn that off. SSAO, let's go to low. Water, I'm gonna put on low. High quality character rendering, let's just do it to player character for now. And model quality, let's go for medium. So that's gonna be a big hit to the graphics, but hopefully a good improvement in our performance. Okay. Keep settings. Okay, significantly lower settings, which gives us some performance headroom, but we haven't really gone much higher in terms of frame rate. So what I'm gonna do here is just quit game, return to title screen, have those settings apply, and then we'll check how it goes from there. So wow. Also guys, this screen is so close to an OLED in my mind. Like, look at those blacks. That's like really, really close. Really, really close to an OLED experience. Okay, let's go back into the game. And since the game showed me that 800 times 600 is a valid resolution, at least from the in-game settings, we didn't really gain too much FPS by changing the settings so low. Kind of makes me think we should turn the settings back up and lock to 30 FPS. Guys, I think most of the stream is just gonna be me playing Dark Souls 2. I gotta resist. It actually runs better than my Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. Oh, we gotta name ourselves now. means I need to get the on-screen keyboard. Best character name ever. Oh, damn, I deleted it, damn. There we go. Please get up. Yeah, perfect. Yes, I'm sure of my name. Absolutely sure. Wow, look at that performance, guys. Are you not excited? Turn it all the way down. Turn all the settings all the way down. Yeah, I think we will. But I'm gonna have to like reboot the game just so I can also turn the resolution down to something that's 4:3 and see if we can get that. And then when we get back into the game, I'll turn everything down. For now, I just want to create a character as quickly as I can. Yeah, perfect. Finish creation. Please select class and gift. Okay. So let's go for knight. I usually start off as warrior in most Dark Souls games. There we go. This is my true self. This is my true self. What's up, Pixel EKT? I would be super happy that if I could have this running at 30 FPS, which I think we've already achieved. But now we just have to refine this a little bit. Yeah, it honestly makes it's honestly pretty mind-blowing to me just to be able to play this. Like the first time I played this game, it was on my Xbox 360. I played it on a CRT TV back in the day. No black bars up and down, but yeah, this would be in my mind a 5-star experience. Yeah, submit that. Get back into this. Does 4:3 make modern games feel retro? To me, honestly, it does. To me, 4:3 is like super nostalgic. I also like things filling the entire screen. You also have the option to add CRT filters. On a device like this, you could use gamma shaders. So this, I've set up LCD 3X here. You can also turn on global BFI for some motion smoothing. What this does is basically adds a black frame in between every other frame, and it makes the game look a little bit smoother. So for now, let's just turn these off. But if you guys want, we'll take a look at BFI when we're in game. So yeah, let's go 800 by 600, and we'll try with everything on low. Let's get that OCD screen clean. Guys, we might have done it. We might have got full 4:3. What is happening though? No. Okay, let's see if we can still do this. I have to figure out how I can get into video settings. Full screen. Let's do full screen, please. Apply. Oh, we did it, guys. 4:3 aspect ratio. Dark Souls 2. Is it full 4:3? Am I just imagining it? Actually, let's go back to windowed. No. Video. Okay, so we are running at a 4:3 resolution. Unfortunately, we have to stick to 450p if we do windowed, and that gives us this hideous thing to look at. So I'm not going to do that. Let's just continue with our old save. Maybe it's 4:3. Maybe it is 4:3. I don't know. It's hard to tell in this menu screen. So someone said turn all the settings to low. That's what we're doing now. Turn off shadows then. Get everything on low. Anastrophic. I mean, I wouldn't turn anastrophic filtering on low. I'll just keep it on weak for now. SSAO we can turn off. Water surface on low. Disable, low. Okay, So these are the absolute lowest settings you can get on a game like Dark Souls 2. Let's go ahead and hit back. It's so confusing. Some games... Oh god, no. Why did I click new game? Why did I click new game? Well, there goes my character, hee hee. Let's give the game a discount for like loading screens and all that stuff. Maybe the full game... Oh, unfortunately, we're stuck with letterboxing. Hey, but in terms of performance, it's super similar to what we were getting before, right? It's like still 41 FPS. We haven't really gotten much more frame rate than before, even by turning the settings and resolution down, which kind of makes me think that the right way to play this game would be 720p. And I'm not going to create another save. And we're actually performing worse on lower settings than we were on higher settings. So what I'm going to do now is my optimized settings for this game on this device, which is going to be high settings actually. That's like so counterintuitive, and this actually shows you that these drivers could use some serious work, at least on Mali devices and Snapdragon as well. So how did the game run? This time I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, mainly because we couldn't really get that 4:3 aspect ratio, but that's a Dark Souls thing. Yeah, let's just hit submit on this. Let's go into edit container. So what do you guys think? Is there value in testing out these other settings? Yeah, let's try it. Let's go all the way this time. So I'm gonna apply what I believe are the best settings for most games. If that doesn't work, we can come back and change this. So we're going to later drivers of most devices. Let's also get this to Unity and performance here. Actually, Unity bleeding edge. Save that. So now we're running at 720p, guys. We have results from this earlier on. We know it ran at 40 FPS. We know all of that stuff went a certain way. What I don't know to do currently on GameNative is lock FPS, but I'm sure you can do it somehow. Let's go back to graphics, wrapper. Everything here is good. I don't see an option to lock FPS. Maybe you can do it in the launch commands. Steam type. Oh, you could also turn Steam type to light, but I don't want to play with Steam settings right now. I want to get another launch first. Okay. Now we're using much later drivers than we were using before. We are using the same low settings for now, which is okay for the time being. Okay, what is this? What is this tiny screen? Can anyone guess what made this happen? Cancel. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back into video. Sometimes doing this helps. So I'll switch to windowed first. Yes. Interesting behavior here, to be honest. I changed it to 720p and now our max resolution is 600p, which is fine, I guess. There we go. What is this? Okay, we're still at 450. Hold on. Back. So every time I switch it to 600p, we get stuck at this resolution. Okay, I have an idea of what might have happened. When I changed it to 720p, the game saved with 800 by 600 in mind, so it kind of still thinks it's 800 by 600, which is why when we play 800 by 600, it gets stuck at that with the small screen on the side when I switch back, because that's 800 by 600 running in a container for 720p, and it hasn't really changed yet. That being said, we're on the lowest of low settings using newer drivers. And our performance is actually slightly worse, isn't it? Slightly, very slightly worse. Give me that. What is it? Human effigy in this one? No. I don't remember which game had human effigies. Okay, where's the way out? So I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the settings a little bit, because changing the settings doesn't really affect your frame rate too much. Let's go ahead and do video settings. How do I get to the second screen? Yeah. Texture quality on high, okay. Effects on high. Anti-aliasing on. Motion blur on. Camera motion blur, I don't like it. This can be strong. SSAO on medium. Water surface, we don't really look at water too much in this game. Okay, this is the settings I would play at. As soon as we hit back, it applies some of them. And look, that gives you a performance boost. The more you tax the system, the better it performs. What CPU does this have? This is using the MediaTek Dimensity 8300. And I think we're getting some stutters, so maybe let's go ahead and reduce the texture settings a little bit. Texture quality, let's put it on medium. That's the lowest we can go. And let's also return to the title screen. No, I don't want to quit game. Oh yeah, quit game, okay. So yeah, I would probably run this at 720p. If I can go back in time and stop that weird error from happening, which basically forced us to play at 450p, because the performance on 720p was actually not that bad. It was maybe even better than this. Okay, continue. Yeah, I don't remember if I answered, but this has the MediaTek Dimensity 8300. Middle of the road CPU for mobile phones, but on a device like this with active cooling, it actually pushes it quite far. Okay, the settings have applied, and it's kind of performance ambiguous, this game. So like, I feel like no matter what I do to the settings, we're gonna get the same 35 to 40 FPS, which tells me that we should lock this at 30. You have the same processor on your phone. That's actually amazing. If you can try GameNative and play a few games, tell me about the heating issues. Like, I know that phones don't really have too much in the way of cooling. Could you tell me what phone you have as well? So I got this OnePlus A6 to play games on. It runs things really well. It's using a nice processor. But there is a but. Yeah, I've just heard online that sometimes you could run into overheating issues, but I haven't personally myself ran into any of those. I think you have to do a dash roll. So you have to press L3 while dashing. How do you dash? Okay, yeah, now I remember. Poco X6 Pro. Okay, I've seen this device a lot on benchmarks and stuff. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a really good device. And the Dimensity 8300 is such a good processor. Personally, I wouldn't try emulating on your main device, at least not at this stage, because yeah, sure, you could do some PS2, you could do some lightweight stuff. In terms of how much that would damage your phone battery, I don't think it's much. I personally don't believe it's too much, and I'm gonna use this phone for probably like 2 or 3 years and push it basically to the limit. Now this is a OnePlus A6, it costs 330 euros, and I got it off AliExpress. So I'm gonna push that device to its limit, kind of abuse it in terms of emulation, and see what we can do how far we can push emulation, basically. Okay, that's a guard break. Ooh. I think it's better to have Snapdragon emulation in general. Currently, I would say yes. Like, this thing has a Snapdragon 8 Elite, and the drivers for the 8 Elite are not as mature as something like the 8 Gen 3. I think 8 Gen 3, if you're looking to buy a device for today to emulate PC games, is probably the best. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. The drivers for that are probably the most mature, and things run really well. But, making devices with Snapdragon processors is expensive, which is why the Retroid Pocket 6 costs what it does. Which is why the iNeo Thor costs what it does. And if you want to get something like this device is equal to a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. It costs pretty much the same. I'm not really making a great point for myself, but you could buy so many different MediaTek chips, and I like making videos for stuff like this because more people are going to see it, more people are going to want to make drivers, and if it's not me, it's going to be other people who are making videos for stuff like this, which would push people, hopefully, to release better drivers for MediaTek devices. If we can get even close to the same support for MediaTek as we do for Snapdragon, which I think is changing with times, then devices like this will just get even better. And I think in terms of technology, we've reached a point in time where old technology is gaining interest, is becoming useful again. I've been playing my PlayStation Vitas, so I really think, okay, can't figure that out. I really think there is value in even MediaTek. If not for now, maybe 1 year down the road, stuff like this will be much better. But it's still crazy impressive how this is running right now in present day. If I could play Dark Souls back in the day on a device this size, I'd be super happy. Oh, and our performance is going up as we leave that decrepit wasteland. I think I skipped a boss fight. Okay, we're at Majula. Guys, this would run perfectly in 720p as well. The design of this device reminds me of the SNES controller. It does, actually. And also, this device comes in two different colors. It comes in pure black, and it also comes in this retro style. And guys, I'm just gonna quickly run and show you the other device that I have that looks like this, because I like showing things off sometimes, especially these devices. Okay, this is the far less powerful RG35XX from Ambernick again. Now, something cool, if you want to call it that I find with one of these devices is, hold on, let me reset. Now, I never know which one the reset button or the power button is. Hold on. Oh, gotta be back, gotta be back. Okay, so something really cool I find about these devices is, one, they're super pocketable. They look really close to each other, these two. It's like father and son almost. It does look much more retro, and this plays up to PS1 games, which is nice. So it's really cool. I usually give these to my friends, have them play on them for a little while, and then return them to me. I also have another one from, like, it's kind of a knockoff company. But yeah. Something I find really cool about this device, this is the RG35XX Pro, is you can stream Moonlight to this device, which might seem kind of pointless, but playing PS2 games on a device this size, or even playing full-on PC games on a device this size at 480p is mind-blowing to me. This cost like $75. This one I bought for $9, and this one was kind of expensive. Okay, anyway, let's get back to GameHub, GameNative. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save, and then we'll try out another game. Okay, that's Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2, honestly, 10 out of 10 experience. I enjoyed playing it on this device, even though it's 16:9. Maybe we could stretch it to scale. Yeah, so, yeah, I got this for $9. I actually got two of them for $9 because I was browsing Facebook Marketplace, and a lot of these devices are gonna come out with SD cards that don't really, they're terrible, right? So you'll have people buy these devices from resellers, and they give them the standard SD card, and I even have one of those SD cards with me. It's a 64 gigabyte card. But once those SD cards stop working or they run into an error, the device just doesn't boot, right? So on Facebook Marketplace, someone said this handheld's not working, pick it up for $9, and I picked it up for $9, and he sold me another one as well for the same price. All I had to do was buy an SD card and change it, and it worked. It works perfect. I just keep hitting reset. I just keep hitting reset on this. It did have graphical glitches in terms of the resolution, so I'm gonna mark that as graphical glitches. Yeah, guys, let's see. Can we get this to run at 720p or no? Yeah, I'll just do one more boot, see if we can fix the 720p thing. It looks like this time it's 720p. Possibly. There we go. That's our 720p. Perfect. Okay, now this is going to be a real stress test then. Continue, Majula. It just blows my mind how changing the settings does absolutely nothing in terms of performance. And you can maybe even go to Ultra, if there was an Ultra option. Okay, 720p, and we're still at 40 FPS. Okay, this time we've actually taken a small hit to our frame rate. But yeah, guys, it's not that bad at all. We're still above 30 FPS. If I could figure out how to lock this at 30, I think we'd be golden. This, in fact, looks better to me right now than it did when I was playing it on my Xbox 360 on my Sony Vega CRT TV. But yeah, I do have a soft spot for CRTs. So let's go try to recreate my childhood experience by doing two things that Gamma OS allows us to do. One, this is the LCD3X filter. And two, okay, my TV didn't really have this, but I'm gonna enable global BFI just to get some image smoothness. Okay, that looks like shit. Just like back in the day. Okay, I would not use the CRT shader on this one at least. At least not the way I've currently set it up. But global BFI definitely makes it look good. Okay. Also, we have started exhausting the battery a little bit. So once again, guys, I just want to tell you guys, when we started this performance test, we were running at 80 to 80% battery, and it's been 1 hour and 34 minutes, and we've dropped down to 32%, I think, from the last time I checked, which is not too bad, considering we've been moving around menus so much and we've been tinkering with settings. This was 5 stars. Submit. So yeah, we're currently sitting at 31% battery. That's 1.5 hours. We haven't even optimized the games to run at only 30 FPS, so that's something to consider as well. I think if you were playing PC games on this, you'd probably get 2.5, and if you really push it and optimize as much as you can, you could get 3 hours, which is really cool. But now we're looking at Darksiders War Mastered Edition, and it's also quite a big game. Let's make sure the EXE is set properly. Okay, and we're going to be playing at 720p to start off with. Let's just have the FPS showing up there and see if we get the game running well. Hey, why does this keep turning on? You stay off. Okay, Darksiders War Mastered Edition. It's looking... Now, I was impatient a while ago, but it looks like it's gonna just give me a black screen for now. It's funny, because sometimes you've not set the EXE and you just have this black screen and you're waiting. Sometimes you get a black screen and you're not really doing anything with that. But you have to wait for the shaders to compile, and then the game just suddenly starts running. It looks like we have no boot on this one. Exit. So what did we get here? No graphics. 1 star. Okay, Darksiders. Let's go edit some settings. So first off, I always like changing this to Proton ARM 10. Let's keep it at 720p for now. Graphics, VRAM 1.1.1. What else can we change? Graphic drivers is system, emulation. So yeah, let's get into effects core, change it to the latest. Change this to Unity Bleeding Edge and performance here. Save that. And I think that's everything. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and click play. And by the time we reach 20% battery, I will connect a charger to this. Okay, it looks like changing those settings may have made a difference, but we did crash, so it does not open. 1 star. Submit. Let's try Proton 9 again with the other settings. So we made progress a little bit at least. Oh, there we go. Nice launch. Okay. We're gonna start by playing this in 16:9, and then I'll try to see if we can get 4:3 running. Okay. Oh, I didn't even look at the settings screen. It's probably all on high. Come on, Darksiders. That's a long loading screen. Okay, 720p. The settings are probably super high. Let's take a look at them. Options. Okay, where's our graphic settings? Where are our graphic settings? This is a very strange graphics menu, to be honest. And also the up button doesn't really work sometimes. That's odd. Hey, let me click options. I guess we can't click options. Okay, I think the on-screen controls are messed up a little bit. So let's change the controls. Edit physics controller. A, B, B, X, X, and Y, Y. Okay, everything is correct. Oh, B is down here. Okay, 20 FPS on this thing. But we haven't even changed the settings yet, so... Let me see if I can quit to main menu. Okay. Options. Wow, that is a terrible menu. Maybe display controls? Oh, no. Advanced options? Oh, there we go. So, texture quality on... Oh, you can go to very low. Let's go to very low. And texture filtering. Let's set that to normal. Okay. So, in terms of in-game settings, we've done all we can. Now let's just go ahead and quit this game, if it lets me. Take a look at the battery first of all. So I would say that's a 4-star experience. Submit this. And plug in a charger, because I think if you go under 20%, it might just do some settings to lower your performance. Okay, just 1 second. Okay. So let's go back into Darksiders. Edit container. And let's lower this to 800 by 600. That's a really nice resolution. And if we can't get 800 by 600, then if we can't get 4 by 3, then we can go to 480p. And I think on a device this size, it should look pretty good. Please though, please, 4 by 3, please work. 4 by 3 is such a nice resolution, guys. Okay, so 800 by 600 is still, for some reason, 16 by 9, which makes me think 480p would be a better resolution than 800 by 600, especially for this game. Now we have to just sit through this long-ass loading screen one more time. I don't know if this device supports pass-through charging, but I don't think it's overheating at all, so we don't really have to worry about that in particular. Okay, so 720p normal settings, we were getting around 20 FPS. If we can get 30 FPS, I'd be satisfied, even at 480p, which this isn't. This is 600p. This is a different resolution from what we're usually used to. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Full 4 by 3. That's something I really like. That's something I really like seeing. Unfortunately, the performance hasn't improved too much. And we're kind of stuck at 20 FPS, which makes me think if we play around with the drivers a little bit, we should get better performance. But that looks nice. You know, I would kind of want to call this playable. Chaos form. Jeez, I'm big now. Did I skip the finishing move? Oh, look at all those human beings running around. Oh, I'm turning into a tiny chaos form guy. Wow. This game is such a power fantasy. Okay, hold on. We need to figure out this performance. Oh, damn. I should have given them a review. Anyway, edit container. Let's try Proton 10 one more time because I'm curious. Can we go to a lower 4x3? Yeah, we can go to a lower 4x3 resolution. Graphics. What if we go to a newer version of DXVK? Let's try this. Emulation. Okay, all of this is good. So even lower resolution. Can we get past 20 FPS? If we can get 30 FPS, I would be super happy. DirectX 10. Okay, it is compatible. No graphics. 2. Okay, here we go. Edit container. I'm gonna stay on that super low resolution. Proton 9, x86-64. So we haven't made any changes besides the DXVK version. Yeah. Let's see. Come on, baby. Fingers crossed. give us that beautiful 30 FPS. Oh no. Okay. So, okay, I have like 2 new ideas now. Let's do 2, no graphics. Actually, it should be 1. Absolute no start. So from here, let's go into settings, edit container. The thing that's the problem right now is the XVK version. So I'm changing that. Try Proton 10. Let's see this. But that looks so good. It looks so good, guys. Okay, so now we're Proton 10 and we get crash. So no submit. Which means we're probably for now stuck at this performance level. Let's see, can we do anything else? Can we do anything to bring it up to 30 FPS? Maybe running on default. Emulation. What else can we do? What else can we do, guys? Settings. Yeah, we have to change this back to Proton 9. Save that. Okay. This is one last try to see if we can get 30 FPS. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to load into the game one more time with the DXVK 1.11.1 to see if doing 480p gives us any benefits. And who knows, maybe black frame insertion at 20 FPS would make it look good. Yeah, let's hit continue. Yeah, beautiful 4:3 ratio though. Guys, if you want to check out the rest of the stream, be sure to subscribe. I'd be super happy if you guys subscribed because I'm really enjoying and working really hard on making these games playable for you guys to see. I'd really appreciate a subscription or a like or some support. You only have to do it if you want to, but it would make me make a lot more videos. Okay, loading screen. Now it's awkward. Now it's awkward. I'm also going to take the charger off because I don't want to get bypass heating. Okay, we're still at that 20 FPS line, which is a little unfortunate. I believe if they upgrade the drivers, we should have a better experience. $24, $25, it's a little bit better than before. Yeah, not too bad. Are we still running black frame insertion? Yeah, we are. It doesn't really cost performance though. What I want to test is if our frame rate drops just as low once we break this. And I don't think it has. It's a little bit higher, so we were getting like 12 FPS last time. Is it just me or does he get gradually smaller? Who is this guy? Guys, honestly, even though I'm seeing 15 FPS on screen right now, I think it's kind of playable. I really think it's kind of playable. Maybe the frame rate is wrong. It doesn't feel bad to play at all. And black frame insertion would probably just make this even better. If I turned off the frame rate reading, I'd have a really good time playing this game. And if I turned off the frame rate reading and did something like this, I wouldn't even know. For real, I really wouldn't know. Maybe I would know, but I don't think so. Okay, that was Darksiders 2. Darksiders 1. Let's say 4 or 3. 4. Nah, 3. It wasn't even close to Dark Souls 2 performance. Okay. Now we're gonna look at the last game for today. We're gonna look at Disco Elysium. Guys, the stream's been going for 2 hours, so I'm not gonna copy these games to GameHub today. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments, or if you're watching this on a WOD, let me know there, and I will upload them as well. But for today, this is gonna be our last game, and I hope it works. I did try it before, and I did have issues getting it to work. I am going to try doing it at 720p to start off with, because some games will crash if you don't give it what it wants. Everything's on the latest settings for now. But yeah, let's see. So I've been getting crashes on this in the loading screen, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, it should be... everything in my body tells me this should run. Excuse me if you can hear my stomach making noises. Okay, we got a Unity crash. That's the first time this has happened. I will give it a 2, because we got boot at least, and submit that. And now let's just play around with the settings a little bit. So first off, let's go into Proton 9. Let's try that. Proton 9 usually fixes these Unity crashes. And if it's not Proton 9, it's DXVK. Okay, it looks like Proton 9 is giving us a black screen on this one. Are we? Okay, no mouse. That's a sign. It's not a bad one, but it's a sign. So this one, no graphics. Let's launch this again. Settings, edit container. Let's try Proton 9, the other version. Play. Okay. This is good. Also, Disco Elysium is a surprisingly tough game to run. Like, I tried to run this on the Steam Deck. I don't know if I was not able to get a locked 90 FPS, but I wasn't able to get either a locked 90 or 60 FPS, which is strange. Okay, the same Unity issue, so I'll just put this as 2. Submit. And let's go back. I'll just keep it on Proton 10 for now. They both have the same crash, that's my logic. Let's go into graphics. And there's something's telling me that I need to change the DXVK version, so we'll do 2 or 3 tests to figure out which one we should use. Let's also move this to compatibility and compatibility. Just for now. When we want more performance, we can change this. Let's change DX. Okay, hold on. Let's see if this works first. Just making that compatibility. But I don't think it's gonna work. I think the next thing we're gonna do is gonna make it work better. Maybe. Potentially. Potentially. Same crash. No problem. Now we know what we need to change. 2, no graphics. Okay. From here, Disco Elysium. Did I call it Disco Asylum? My mistake? Kind of feel like I did. Let's go to first, let's start. We'll do this, and the latest one. So, here we go. We might actually get a boot here. Nope. Okay. Also, let's turn on this BFI. Turn off the BFI. We don't need it for now. Graphics, DXVK, and let's do 10.3. Save this. Try this. Okay, so from the games we played today, what worked? Baldur's Gate 2 didn't work. Arkham Origins didn't work. Cult of the Lamb, pretty close to the way Disco Elysium is currently running. So you'd get into a menu and it would stop. Cuphead didn't work for a save file issue, so I'm pretty sure that if I move Cuphead to GameHub, it's gonna run pretty well. Dark Souls 2 worked excellently, way better than I was expecting. Darksiders War Mastered Edition, it worked decently. Abzu worked really well, 30 FPS lock as possible. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night also worked really well, 30 FPS lock as possible. Darksiders 2, it ran and it looked good, but we didn't really get beyond 25 FPS. I didn't see 30 FPS once. And now Disco Elysium, this is not crashing, but it's also not running. So, maybe if we wait here for a little bit, but I'm running out of patience. Okay, I'm gonna hit exit now. Graphical glitches. 2. There we go. One more time. Let's do edit container. I have 2 more options to run this. So first we're gonna go ahead and change this to the latest version. Sometimes that changes things. Okay, instant answer to that. What if we go to the oldest version? We did try the oldest version. What about this one? And if it doesn't work, we'll do glib. Glib C. Oh, crash. Let's just try glib C. This changes pretty much everything. Which one was the most stable? Let's say this. Let's try that. Okay, we're still loading. Wow, new issue. Okay, so this is like a DX11 issue. Okay, tomorrow we're gonna go ahead, or maybe later on today, we're gonna go ahead and check out Baldur's Gate, Arkham Origins, Cult of the Lamb, Cuphead, and Disco Elysium, maybe on GameHub, before I delete them from this device. But before we do that, how do I get this new configuration to like auto setup? Maybe reset container. There we go. Fetch game images, reset DRM, verify files, update. Okay, let's see this. Well, guys, thank you for being a part of this stream today. It's actually been one of my best streams so far. I'm really happy. It's gotten me more excited to do more of these. Tomorrow we'll probably look at some performance on this guy. This is the OnePlus A6. It's the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, and that comes with its own bunch of problems in terms of the drivers being kind of immature at this point. I think the best drivers are on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 or the Snapdragon 8 range of devices. That being said, the MediaTek Dimensity 8300 is such a good processor, and this 477V is just making me super happy with the way it's running Dark Souls, with the way it's been running PS2 games in particular. It's just a fantastic device, honestly. I had the RG477V before this. I was really in love with that device. The screen wasn't as good as this one is. Like, this one's 120 hertz, higher resolution as well, and it's been so good so far. After the stream ends, I'm probably just gonna play some Stellar Blade on this, streaming from my PC, which is also really fun. Okay, application load error, Steam error. Okay, that's new. Oh, my bad, no graphics. Let's try one more time, and let's do some editing of settings. So let's keep that on Proton 9. Let's move this to Sarek. What about emulation? Just make this the latest one. Okay, save this. Play. So we made 2 changes here, I believe. Okay, application load error again. Let me change the Steam mode for this. Edit container. Steam type, let's do light. Okay, let's try that. Okay. And let's play this. Let's see if it works. I really don't want to end the stream on a game that doesn't work, so if this doesn't launch, I'll end the stream on some Dark Souls 2 gameplay. And maybe tomorrow night we'll try some other games. Maybe we'll try something... Oh, what is this? Ah. Okay. Library. Let me check what's downloading. Very interesting. What do I have in here? Oh. Okay, so maybe we had to accept the EULA thing. Maybe now it's gonna work. Let's see. So, edit container. There's 2 things I want to do, and this might be crucial. 1, update. Oh, hold on. We can't do update right now. But let's do play without the Steam thing. So, get in here, edit container, turn this off, save that, and try. Okay, application load error, no problem, but that's given us a hint as to what we need to do. No graphics. So from here, we can go back into, if I hit update, it's gonna download the whole game again. So for now, I'm holding off that. We can keep our Steam client because that helps. And let's do allow Steam updates and also go for the normal version of Steam. So let's try that. It's gonna be super heavy, but maybe we'll get the game booting. Installing packages. Anything to get this game to run. Okay. You know, sometimes it actually might just be better to run the shady versions of these games. Like, I'm running all of them the way they're supposed to be ran. But, You guys know I own this game. It's on my Steam. Uh, I will try downloading the yoinked version of this, if you know what I mean, later on, and see if that runs. Okay, doesn't look like we're getting anywhere. So yeah, for now I'm gonna take this off and we're gonna end the stream, but as we do, I'm just going to leave you guys with a little bit of Dark Souls 2 gameplay on this thing, because I think it looks quite amazing and incredible, and I think this device should be celebrated. So as we close off this stream today, that's what I'm gonna be leaving us with. Some beautiful Dark Souls 2 gameplay. Look how smooth this is. Look how incredible Dark Souls 2 runs. Guys, thank you everybody for being a part of today's stream. It's been really, really nice showcasing all these games for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back for more. There are going to be more streams. We will be doing streams more regularly going forward. I am trying to grow this channel and provide something to the gaming community. I've had this channel for a really long time. I started it when I was, I think in 2009, maybe 2007. I was doing League of Legends videos on this before. It used to be a tech channel where I'd unbox stuff, and it's been so nice to run this whole thing. And yeah, I'm not stopping anytime soon. So get subscribed, guys. Tell me what you want to see. I'm gonna be doing stuff I like doing regardless, and it's always been a great time making these videos. Aww. Cute cat. That's a cute cat. Thank you guys for watching this stream. Dark Ruler, aka Blackheart909, signing off.